And we're back. Welcome to this Let's Play of Europa Universalis 4 as Castille during this Emperor expansion. Or in this, for this, whatever, as Castille. Last time we just finished conquering Portugal and adding them to our realm. Meaning that by now, by 1478, we are actually quite a powerful nation, Castille is. Let's take a look at the Great Power screen. We are number 3 with 533 development. Meaning that we are behind Ming, which is China, and the Mamluks, which is Egypt, basically. And that's a pretty good position to be in at this stage in time. We are effectively a massive empire, quite a massive empire, dominating Iberia and the Italian Isles, except for Corsica. But that will come too. So let's start this thing. We've just begun our colonial adventures here in Arguin. We should probably send some troops over there. Quest for the New World. After the conquest of Granada, Spain was filled with veterans and warriors of the faith with nothing to do and many needs. Deeds and needs would be fulfilled as Cortés and Pizarro started out to conquer South and Central America. All these people became the hacienda owners and trader barons of the New World, bringing wealth both into their own pockets and the vaults of the Spanish treasury. So, a new Reconquista, we need conquistadors. This will give us a conquistador and 50 military power. Conquistadors, sorry, conquistadors are basically generals, but they're able to explore unexplored colonial territories, which is very useful and necessary. In fact, if you're a colonial nation like we are. Or a new Reconquista, we need explorers, which is the opposite before navies, as we've seen already with our exploration navy. That will of course bring us over the military limit, but I think it could be wise to have an army walking around down there. So let's actually do that. Let's have a conquistador. There we go. Let's see here. Finished exploration in Atlantic South America. Good stuff, good stuff. So we can explore some other place. Let's actually see what we can... Okay, we have enough admin take points to research Renaissance thought, which will allow us to open up another group of ideas, which is really good. This will be a bit more difficult though, since we began picking diplomatic ideas, we won't be able to do that just yet, since we can't pick another group in the diplomatic category right now, because more than 50% of the idea group is from the diplomatic section, which means that we should probably, or we have to pick the admin or the military ideas groups. For Castille, since we want to be a colonial nation, expansion ideas are also really good. This gives us more colonists and more merchants, faster colonial growth. So maybe picking that would be smart. We are kind of a powerful nation, so we don't really need military ideas just yet. Even though it's always good to have. This is hard. You know what? I'm gonna pick expansion ideas, just because we want those colonists. So let's do that. We have more to explore. So since we got that one conquistador, I think we'll send some men away to actually do some exploration. On land this time, I'll send some vehicles or some a fleet over there because it's a bit closer. Because once your fleets are on the high seas, they actually they suffer attrition if they're far away from your own lands. And losing a fleet is one of the most painful things in this game. There's been so many times where I've just had a massive fleet, my most powerful fleet of like first-rate ships and galleons and stuff, and I just left them somewhere to die, basically. And I don't want that to happen. So let's put them off over here. We don't yet have the colonial range to send colonists over there, but we most likely will very soon. And even though we can't settle yet, we can move around our conquistador. See here. So, since we now have researched a lot of military tech, and we do not have any military ideas to spend military tech on, we're going to have a surplus of military power. And because of the ahead of time penalty, we won't be able to use any of it on the technology before long. Which means that we should probably use it on a lot of other stuff instead. So we can probably go with the nobility agenda here, which requires us to spend some military power to raise our manpower base at Burgos. Let's see here, and that's here. We can do that pretty quickly. Military power. There we go. And we should probably set a naval doctrine. Naval doctrine is something you can set when you have enough money for it and you have a navy. And the sooner you set it, the less it will cost, because it's based on the size of your navy, I believe. And since we will be a trading nation, actually, I'm kind of torn between the merchant navy, which will give our ships a massive bonus in trading power, or the Grand Armada, which will make us make a lot more money on gold. But I think the merchant navy is the best one. We'll just do that. Let's see here, our chance to become Pope. Being the Pope wasn't actually as good as I thought, because you can't lower the reform desire anymore. I think you could after the release of the patch, but as of right now, there's only the Pope. The Pope in the Papal State may do that. But we cannot. So becoming the Pope isn't that powerful. So if I don't, or is it? Let's see here. We can access all of our possible diplomatic options through this tab here. Since we are the Pope, we can actually excommunicate others. And there's nobody in our range. So excommunication is basically that you cut the king of that nation as a connection to Christendom, giving them a massive relations penalty to others, like to other Catholics, and makes it so that you can attack them without penalties, which is really good. But there's no nation that we kind of have to do that against right now, unless we just want to like mess with them. It would be nice to do, for example, to Naples, but the Papal States have too good of a relationship with them, so that won't be possible. It's based on that relationship. Let's see. Here we go. I'm about to about to actually lose my fleet. That's exactly what I was talking about. So instead of setting this guy inland right now, I'll try to get him back there as possible, so we can repair our ships and set him inland next month or something. Because these would have died 15%. See, like, oh my. Yeah, okay. So we lost 4 of our ships. Luckily, those were only transport ships. But you can see how easy it is to neglect that you've put a fleet somewhere. Or maybe it's just me, but that's awful. And the natives pushed out our colonists. So we'll have to send it again. Let's see, the question of rights. A subject of ours currently holds lands to which we have claim. If we were to claim this province for ourselves, they would undoubtedly regard us with contempt and distrust. On the other hand, they would be in no position to stop us from taking control of the area if we would wish it to be so. So we can basically take this province from Portugal. We can renounce the claim, because we do have a claim on this. Or we can just let it be, but lose prestige. Now we have an immense amount of prestige now, 98. That's amazing. But losing it is still kind of sad. Since Portugal is our vassal, or our under us in a personal union, we will either decide to integrate them later on, or we will probably just inherit them. So I think I'll renounce my claim. Because there's no point, kind of, in suffering that relationship penalty. And now we've explored everything we can with our current, where is it? Our current colonial range. So as we sort of increase this and we get colonies, that range will also increase. So I think I'll send. That was very, very stupid of me. What was not supposed to happen happened, but it was a pretty effective way to show how easy it is to forget. Wow, we've completed a lot of this stuff. I think we can also actually remove the edicts from all of these places, because they cost us money and we have Renaissance now, so there's no point in having it there. Very good. Let's see here. Okay, but what we can do now, since we do want to develop our province. Okay, the Emperor enacted another reform. So now they have 2. We can enact the edict, which will lower development costs by 10%. So let's do that, and we'll spend some military power this time. Because there is like bonus here, which will give us more splendor the bigger our development is in a city. And it's always nice to have like a massive capital city, if nothing else, to increase your crown land and just your manpower base and taxation and everything. It's actually really good. So we'll do that. We can also lower the development cost by upping the loyalty of our burghers. I didn't do that yet, but we could do something like granting New World charters would be kind of good for us if we want to speed up the colonial settlements. But I think free enterprise is probably what we will do. It will increase their loyalty and influence, decrease our maximum absolutism, but I think that's kind of worth it. So I think we'll just do that. For right now, it will increase their minimum loyalty at least. So let's see this. Yeah, so the equilibrium is currently at 49, which means that this will move up to 49. And we can also increase it the next time we use the agenda thing. For example, yay, more land to explore. Let's do Atlantic South America. Vatican infiltration. Let's get some papal influence, actually. Okay, I think we're ready now to set him off, and I'm going to pay attention to him now. Oh my god, that's just awful. So let's see how this works. There we go. We set him off right away. And we send these ships back. And now we can choose our conquistador, and we can hunt for the 7 cities, which will basically explore everything while also presenting us with certain unique events related to that exploration. I think, yeah, as long as they're near land and our settlements, it won't lose stuff. Falsest diamonds of Tukuriri. Our explorer has sent us gems he claims to have found in Tukuriri. White and glittering. He believes them to be diamond, but our learned scholars tell us that they are common quartz instead. Far from a source of wealth, they have become a source of ridicule. Oh no, and we lose 5 prestige. That's almost like a Monopoly card or something. Let's see, who's Napoli? Naples allied with France, Epirus, Siena. And that was explored already. Let's see, let's explore some more. West African Sea. And I gave him 2,000 men because he is, like, they are likely to encounter tribal armies or native armies, so that's why having 2,000 is always good. Having 1,000, but we are militarily superior anyway, but it's just to be safe. So let's see, I want to have probably, let's put 5 guys in this boat, and we shall continue with this. We shall colonize this area now. It's important that our subjects like us, because the more they dislike us, the more liberty desire they will have, meaning that they are more likely to ask other nations to help them become liberated. And of course we don't want that. See here, we can now enable colonial range puffs plus 50%, which is really good for us. And I think I'll do that despite it sending us back even further in the diplomatic range. It will also give us yearly army tradition decay from Castilian ideas, which is really good. So, like, every nation has their own types of ideas, and these are ours, and they will probably change once we turn to Spain, or like become Spain as well. Isabella of Castille. While not the primary candidate for the throne, few can deny the talents and virtues of the young Princess Isabella. As a daughter of the powerful Trastamara family, she has managed to secure powerful allies through marriage who support her claim to our throne. Few can tell what the future has in store for our country, but even for those who are unhappy with the rule of Fernando V, Isabella is held to be a given candidate to be his successor. So let's see here. The throne is hers. Isabel becomes, with a strong claim, becomes the new heir at an age of 23. Her political power can be used elsewhere, gaining 100 in every monarch power and gaining her as a diplomatic reputation advisor. Both of these are actually really good. Our current heir gives us 2 in every one. She's way better, so with 5, 6, 3. But she will give us an automatic 100 if we don't make her heir in everything. So it's kind of... No, I do think it's probably worth it. The throne is... We won't be able to be crowned Emperor of the Holy Roman Empire then, but that's kind of far-fetched right now anyway, I think. Well, let's do it. Let's have her as heir. Saved by a princess. We cannot imagine the terror our conquistador must have felt when he laid his head onto a great stone while seeing men standing ready with the clubs above his head. Luckily for him, the chief's dearest daughter rushed forth and placed her head upon his to save him from death. We must make sure this not happen again. Lose money, gain diplomatic power and opinion, or they are barbarians losing relations. I think I'll pay for that. Go back to drilling. And yes. Actually, no. The thing about having provinces is that you can just move your ship into port instead of having to move your units from the ship to the port, which takes a lot longer. And that's especially useful knowledge during war, when getting into port is a really important time factor. Actually, still voting. Choosing Isabel didn't change anything. That might mean that Austria has had a female. Yeah, they have the empress. There's actually an empress right now, not an emperor. So Austria decided to change that law because they didn't want to lose the emperorship, meaning that that actually helps us as well. Perfect. Equality, am I right? Let's see. So what if we click on the diplomatic map mode, we can see that all of these striped areas are where we have claims. So we have claims on all of Naples, or all the Naples except for Abruzzi. The question remains if we do want to attack Naples, because they are allied to France. And France is always a major pain in the butt in this game, because they tend to be really powerful. But they are currently at war with someone else. So let's check if they'll join the war if we attack Naples right now. Yes, they will. As you can see, there is a lot of factors that goes into telling if a nation will join a war or not. Right now, France definitely will. I think they even just finished that war. No, they didn't. But they do have some war exhaustion, meaning that their country is kind of tired from war. And the more war exhaustion they have, the more sort of destroyed their nation is, the less likely they are to want to join another person's war. Well, let's see now. They have a total of 56,000 troops. We have 47,000. So they have more. And France also has offensive ideas, but 0 completed, meaning that they'll soon be more powerful than we are, because they have enabled that. So let's see here. I think we'll do the aggressive expansion one this time. Yes. So that one came a lot faster now, because we do gain a lot more splendor from having all of these successfully enabled. Let's do some prestige. I think it's kind of it's always it's always more important to have a high legitimacy than high prestige, because legitimacy has so much to say when it comes to the stability of your kingdom. Let's see, we can name another colonist, and we'll do that. This time we're spending admin power. And let's see if we can send him to... Yes, we can send him to the Americas right now. We can start with Brazil. Let's see where the centers of trade are. There and there. I think we'll start down here, actually. Actually, let's start up here. You know what? Let's start down here. And I think we would be wise in sending some troops over there as well. Just because there might be native uprisings. And if we have no troops there, they will destroy the colony. We can actually make some states now. We could before as well, but I think this is the time because we are ahead in admin technology. So let's do that. Let's incorporate Andalusia into our realm. Yeah, we can now enable this. Let's see here. What lies beyond the Pillars of Hercules, our brave explorers are ready to find out. Enables colonial age plus 20%. Okay, I should have probably enabled that earlier. Discover Caribbean, global set increase plus 15. Very good. The trade center of Sevilla. With the discovery of the New World, Sevilla entered its greatest period of prosperity. It was the chief port of trade with the new colonies. Quickly, the Spanish monarchs let it have the monopoly on freights from the Spanish colonies. We now have control of our overseas trade. Local trade power plus 20. Until the end of the game, okay. So let's see. Now it's at 58%. And let's see what happens when the month changes and it updates. 63. So that's very, very good. We are clearly by far the most powerful state here, or power in that region. Let's see, our colonist is here. I placed my boats there and forgot about it too nearly, but luckily our province here will prevent it from gaining attrition. And why did I do that? We could also have just put it into port, which we'll do now. So by having uncored provinces, normally after conquering stuff, having uncored provinces will get you both corruption and unrest. So it's really bad. But when you simply turn like a territory into a state, that's not, those penalties don't apply. See, we have a lot of money. We can actually become the defender of the faith. meaning that we will defend any Catholic nation from an attack from a state of any other faith. It's a bit scary because of the Ottomans if they want to attack any of the Baltic nations. It could also mean that we could keep the Ottomans at bay since we are so many. I'm surprised that Epirus still lives. But I think we shall... Let's see here. Missionaries +1, moral of armies +5%, moral navies, monthly work station, yearly prestige, missionaries maintenance, manpower, and true faith promises. It's actually a really good bonus. I'm just wondering if it's too much money right now. We can instead make some buildings, which will make us money. Some churches, some production. I think those are good investments. It's just a bit annoying that they're allied to France. But I'm wondering if I should ally... Okay, so we have 4 out of 4 diplomatic relations as of right now. Meaning that if we ally someone else, we will lose 1 diplomatic power every month from sort of going over that limit. And we do technically have some pretty good allies already. Great. So I think that's fine. So since we have such a high army professionalism right now with 37%, it's past 20. Okay, the Ottomans are in a golden era. We may start firearm regiments, which means that drilling our soldiers will take less time, but the army maintenance will increase by 15%, which is quite a lot. Right now, the army maintenance is 12.25, so by 15%, it will effectively become about 14. I don't know if that's a price worth paying, as revoking it will actually remove, I believe, 5% army professionalism. So yes, I think we'll wait with that. I think we can play on a bit faster speed. There, it's all cord. Very good. Having colonies is a bit of a waiting game, because it actually takes quite a while for them to become sort of self-sufficient. Attacked by natives. Let's see what happened here. Oh no, he died. How terrible. Let's see, we'll just... Where'd he go? Down here. I'm guessing we should hire another one because it's kind of cool if you actually find some gold and stuff. But yeah, back to colonies. You need 1,000 for it to become a self-sufficient colony. Right now there's 153 there, and we get 65 a year, but we have a 21.8% chance every month of getting extra settlers. And both of these can be increased by certain factors. For example, events like we've seen already, or by land of opportunity, which will give us plus 10 settlers every year. But right now, I think we'll wait and we'll try to research another diplomatic tech, because we're kind of far behind there. Although enabling this would give us a innovativeness gain, which, like I said before, gives us certain bonuses. But I think right now it's not worth it, because we need to get this before we pick another military idea, for example. France declared war on England, and England is allied with... Okay, this will be a walkover, I suppose. France will have Armagnac, or whatever that's called. Let's see here. There we go. That's good. Now we can steal maps, which I never do. I think the closest thing right now is that others will steal our maps because we're so explory. So Tunis is quite big this time around. What's really interesting about the Emperor update is that there are a lot more nations in the Holy Roman Empire, and there's some more Balkan nations as well. I've noticed, like for example, Herzegovina is there, Croatia is there from the start, etc. I've noticed that Poland tends to become a lot more powerful than, yeah, they're eating hungry, than before. This time I think Hungary was unfortunate because Austria did not inherit it. I guess Hungary would then lose anyway, but this time it's Poland that's literally eating it up, instead of Austria just having them there. Let's see, we're getting quite a lot of inflation, I think. 4%, that's a lot. So we can lower this by spending administrative points. That will, of course, I chose to up the... or we can lower it also by having the right advisor, but we do not, at the moment, have the right advisor. Let's see here. Okay, so the burghers want me to have a lot of money. That's not going to happen anytime soon. The nobility wants me to have better relations with Poland, and the clergy wants me to have some a manufactory. I think we'll try the Poland thing right now to get better relations with them. Shouldn't be too hard. And we're going to have an uprising fairly soon. I'll stop this drill. We lost general here. Let's do this. Increased autonomy in Capo Verde. That's kind of annoying because it's to have rebels on islands is so annoying because you have to move your troops with ships, and it's a whole mess. So I kind of hope that they stop, to be honest. I think I'll move these ships back because they don't do very much up there. We'll move back to Spain. Let's see here, we can recruit another merchant, and we're gonna do it. So basically, trade is quite complicated in Europa Universalis 4, and it doesn't really start before you get yourself a navy and a lot of trade, like marketplaces and merchants. But we have done that right now, so let's see how it works. Basically, merchants are something that you put into different trade nodes, and right now we have a merchant in Tunis from the start, which sends trade or attempts to sort of transfer trade to our main node, which is here in Sevilla. So let's see, we have some rebels in Portugal. Let's help Portugal deal with those. And we have another one down here in Safi, which also sends us to Sevilla. But we don't have any merchant collecting in Sevilla, and what I tend to do when I first get a merchant is to place a merchant here to collect. I don't know if this is like the optimal way, but that's what I feel is best. Because right now we're making 8.40 from trade, and with a merchant we make 9.20. So that's actually quite a huge percentage leap. We will also place a lot more merchants over in the colonial regions to transfer the trade to ourselves once we are able to do that. Let's see, if they return, kill them, make them understand we meant no harm. I think I want the prestige rather than lose the diplomatic power, so yeah. Let's see here, we have enough papal points, oh my god, to do more stuff. But since we are the Pope, we cannot at this time get a diplomatic relations boost. So I think I'll save them, actually. Since there's kind of nothing else that is really appealing. Forgive usury will... Okay, I think I'll do that because it will lower our inflation rate, which is really high. So let's do that. Maybe we should attack Naples right now because we have that papal modifier. That would mean attacking France as well. But I think if we make some more cannons, shouldn't be too far-fetched that we are able to beat France. We're not fighting their allies or anything either. We're simply fighting Naples and Epirus and Siena, which are tiny countries. The doctrine of particular judgment. As we know, when we die, God judges immediately and decides a soul's fate until it awaits the last judgment. However, a monk has started a doctrinal dispute that verges on the edge of heresy, claiming that there is no purgatory and saying that prayers for the dead do not assist their passage into heaven. These disputes are threatening the very unity of our church. He's probably a heretic, which will give us 2 papal influence, but add 1 reform desire. Sorry, there's nothing you can do for the dead loved ones, which will remove 1 reform desire, but create 5 unrest in Cordoba. I think we'll do the heretic one. It seems like Protestantism is gonna happen anyway, so let's just do it. I'm sure that's what everybody says, and that's why it's gonna happen. Stranger in a strange land. As our ship approaches shortly, large numbers of gift-laden canoes start to follow it. The canoe's occupants have fearlessly boarded the vessel, and 2 seemingly important fellows are trying to persuade the ship's captain to follow them too shortly. Their intentions seem innocent, and we can espy from the few words our translator can pick out that we have arrived just in time for a festival of some sort. Our ship's mast formation, sails, and rigging resemble certain significant artifacts for the natives, and our clockwise route around the island mirror the path the processions take during this festival. This has convinced the natives that we are friendly, but one false move and it might change. Accept their primitive traditions, lose 5 prestige but gain relations with them. Stay clear of them and do not make landfall, which will worsen our relations. We're gonna lose 5 prestige from that. Why not? Could be nice having some people that actually like us. Where are they though? Guess it's none of these. Okay. Glory Road. This is promising land. Gain 1 base tax in Panama if we ever were to colonize that. That's good. And our cannons are soon ready. We can enable another thing here. I think war taxes is probably good. That means that we don't have to spend any military power on war taxes when we have that enabled. Can make more ships too. And we maybe should make some caravans, because France has a relatively powerful fleet. Some galleys, because they are really good at fighting in the Mediterranean, which is basically our main area of importance there. Let's see here, South American East Coast. So Portugal is continuing to colonize, which is fine, I guess. It's basically ours. I'm just going to try to always maintain high relations with the electors, even if we're kind of far away from getting the vote anyway. Just because that way, if we are close, that might tip the scales. Yeah, so we're close to getting our first colony finished. And I think that's a pretty good way of stopping this this time. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying it. I know I am. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.